a million times.
I can't tell if we're live or not because I can see you moving, but I can't see myself moving.
I don't know. I got Scott in the chat already. I don't know if Rob's frozen, so it might be the me and Scott show, or it might be the Rob and Scott show.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Oh, yeah, now you're moving. Are you moving?
I can't see anything. I have no idea what's happening.
There we go. I think we're stabilizing now. Are we stabilizing?
I have no clue.
What's up?
Damn you.
Okay, so we're gonna open the show with 10 minutes of can you hear me now? What's up, folks? Scott's already in the chat talking about They Live. Fraser's in here. What's up, Fraser? I don't know if anyone else is in there. I'm not seeing anything else pop up, but if you are here, thank you for joining us. This is the Sidekick Show. I am here with Rob Godet. Damn it. Can I hear you? Can you talk, Rob? Uh-oh. Rob's having an issue. He muted his microphone. If you guys are watching, let us know who you're seeing on camera and who is lagging out here. I don't know what's going on. Lewis is here. I can't hear Rob. Rob, you're on mute. You're on mute. Can I unmute your mic, Rob? Oh, so Rob is glitching. But I'm here. Rob, I don't know if you want to go out and come back in for a second or something. If you can hear me at all. So what's up, folks? We're having technical difficulties literally the second before we went live. You back, Rob? Yeah, Ross is broken. No.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Here, I haven't touched a thing. I don't know what's happening. But okay.
Okay, well, let me talk about my new releases, and hopefully Rob will stabilize by then.
Am I still not stable? Am I an unstable individual?
I think you in general, yes. We're talking about the stream tonight. Anyways, let me talk about my new releases. So comics is fairly light, so I'm not actually even going to cover it. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble. So anyways, I'm going to talk about some new toys. So I'm getting a bunch of new toys. So I'm getting the latest DC McFarlane line, which is part of I believe it's based off the story Last Night on Earth. And we've got a bunch of Batmans coming in. So these are going to be arriving this Wednesday. So McFarlane is doing a wicked job with these action figures. And each of these figures comes with a piece. You can see the big arms here to build a Bane, which I think you'll see in one of these upcoming pictures. So there you go. This Bane here, you can build out of the extra pieces that you're going to get. So these are really cool. I'll have these Wednesday, like I said, and they're all around the $30 mark for price point. And I'm getting a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff, which I actually have on hand right now. So let me see I don't know if you guys are going to see this. So I've got this guy here. This is Super Shredder.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, this is really cool. From the
original,
the second Secret of the Ooze, which features my guy Vanilla Ice.
Ninja
Go, and then we have some animated stuff as well.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
You're lying if you weren't rocking that song back in the day.
I was rocking that, and then MC Hammer's "Too Legit to Quit" from the Addams Family.
Can you do the thing?
Yeah, it's "Too Legit to Quit."
I remember seeing that and being like, "Nope, can't do it." Over my head, so I didn't even bother trying it.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah, no, that was it. So that's it. Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of toys, and the comics are coming in, and I think we're a couple weeks out for the new Magic set, which is going to be really hot. So that's pretty much it I got for new releases. Sarah shouts out TURTLE Power.
Yeah, man.
Which was a hilarious track from the first Ninja Turtles, where movie. They cut to the scene where the Foot Soldier clan is like, they're smoking cigars and they're skateboarding indoors, and they're like, I forget what else they do. They're doing like just anything that kids aren't allowed to do, which was freaking hilarious.
Committing larceny. That would be one thing, John. They were stealing.
They were stealing, but in the clubhouse, they were just like goofing around with stuff that they weren't allowed to play with or something, like playing video games, and like one of the guys was passing out cigarettes and just funny stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's all I got for new releases. I think Rob's got a ton of news.
Hey, Gordon, keep it PC friendly today, okay? It's only 8 o'clock. Come on, man.
It's not after hours yet.
Yeah. So hey, everybody. I'm sorry we were glitching out there. It might have been me. It might have been John. I don't know what was happening.
There's no we. There was you.
Okay.
There's no we. There was you.
Oh yes. Yeah. Hey. So, guys, we have a lot of news to cover. Lots of news. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about Shazam, John. Shazam 2 is scheduled to come out in 2023. It is currently in pre-production, and they just cast Helen Mirren. Broke last week that Helen Mirren is joining the cast of Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods, which to me is hilarious because Helen Mirren is known for a lot of different roles. You know, in The Queen, and then all of a sudden she shifted into this, like, now a part of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think she was in Hobbs and Shaw, and now she's going to be some character in Fury of the Gods, Shazam 2. And also, speaking of the Shazam universe, the Shazam universe, there was big breaking news last week as well that Black Adam, The Rock's Black Adam, has cast Pierce Brosnan, 007 himself, has been cast as Dr. Fate in the movie. So that rounds out the cast of Black Adam. They have Atom Smasher, they have Hawkman, I can't remember who else. But I was like really shocked. I mean, like Pierce Brosnan, you know, as Dr. Fate, I think it's Kent Nelson, right? So was really impressed with that.
It's like an all-star cast, like heavy hitters. Like I forgot where the graphic went. We didn't pull that. We pulled a bunch of other stuff, but we didn't pull that graphic.
Yeah. Now they actually start filming. I want to say it's next week. Or they may have started this week. All I know is that yesterday, Black Adam took over New York Times Square and announced that Black Adam is being released on July 29th of 2022. So that's to look forward to for next summer. Here's something we can look forward to this week, John. We've talked about this in the past. Godzilla versus King Kong. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that Warner Brothers Canada were very firm on the fact that it was only being released in theaters in Canada. In the US, our friends Scott, they have access to it in theaters or on HBO Max. We don't have it up here in Canada on HBO Max. We've discussed it before. It wasn't going to be released on Crave. It was going to be, we were hoping it would be like a Wonder Woman 84 where you could rent it. Warner Brothers said, no, it's only going into theaters. And I actually wrote a number of tweets to Warner Brothers Canada and Legendary Pictures. And I was just saying, I think I maybe did too. And I was like, this is ridiculous. There's less than 3% of movie theaters open in Canada. How is this? This is absolutely asinine. Let us rent it. And I think my tweets may have done the job, John, because Warner Brothers Canada flipped the switch, and they are now we are able to rent it on your premium video on demand service of choice, whether it be Google Play, iTunes, the PlayStation Store, whatever else. As of Wednesday, the 31st, you'll be able to watch Godzilla versus King Kong. We're going to circle back to that movie in a second. But first, speaking of renting, this was a big thing. We've been talking about this movie, John, for the past year and a half on this show and on the main show, and that's Black Widow. Marvel were adamant that it was not going on to rental. It was going to go in theaters. And last week, they finally decided to bend over a little bit and said, okay, it's going in theaters, but it's also going to be on Disney Plus Premiere. Do you remember what they did with the last movie they did with that? I think you're on mute.
Was it Mulan?
Yeah, they did it with Mulan. Yeah. They did it with another movie. I think it was that Raya and the Last Dragon a few weeks ago as well.
That's still not available for regular subscribers to Disney Plus.
Yeah, so it's this Disney Plus Premiere. So essentially, you pay. And I believe that in the US, I think it was $20. I think in Canada, though, it's close to $30, which doesn't make any sense to me. But you pay $30 and you own, quote unquote, you own the movie so long as you have a Disney Plus membership. So Black Widow will be coming out July the 9th in theaters that may be open, and then on Disney Plus. My question to you, John, and maybe to the people then in the chat is, would you pay the $30 on Disney Plus to see this, or would you wait knowing that it'll be free on Disney Plus by like September?
I'm going to pay immediately if it becomes available, because I 100% want to see this movie. I want to support Scarlett Johansson's solo flick, so I definitely am fine with paying $30 and seeing it. And you're going to want to see this on the ASAP. You're not going to wait a month to see this behind everybody else, especially with internet superhero movie spoilers aghast, or I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising. I don't know how I feel about it. And so there's no rhyme or reason to my feeling this way. It was on iTunes or Google Play or whatever, I would rent it for the $25 or $30. But the fact that I feel like I'm strong-armed in this Disney Plus thing, knowing that it's going to be available within like 60 to 70 days, it really irritates me. And admittedly, I'm also Black Widow is the one movie that doesn't have me super excited for. So I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah, but I think I've made this argument with Pat before. We're already subscribed to Disney Plus. So we're in the market that it doesn't really make a difference to us. If it's available for rent on some other service or available on Disney Plus, it's the $30. So it's irrelevant to us. If we were in the situation where we weren't already on Disney Plus, then yes, we had a monthly fee to that $30, but we're not. So we're in like kind of like the same situation. Either way it comes out, right? But I guess there is that wait and see.
Okay, fine, you sold me.
But you know what I mean? Like if
I know what you're saying.
Your
makes
iTunes
sense.
rental, but we're already in for Disney Plus. So for us, it's irrelevant. For people who have not subscribed to Disney Plus, then they're in a bit of a pickle. But you know,
okay, fair enough. You got me convinced. The movement. So this moved from May and moved into July, and it actually knocked out. The one movie that I'm really excited to see would be Shang-Chi. So that has taken that spot. Now Shang-Chi has moved to September. I don't remember the exact date. I feel like it's middle of September.
But who knows? We've seen zero about that movie, really.
Yeah. So they've moved it to September, and apparently the Eternals is still set to come out in November, which again, we've seen nothing about. So here's something that we saw today, John. News out of Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars fan, and I would really like. Actually, it's funny. We mentioned this in our private chat, and then Andre was quiet. I haven't seen him make any comment on this, so I don't know if that's good news or bad news. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new Star Wars for Disney Plus TV series, will start filming in April, and they just released their cast announcement online today. Do you have the graphic to throw up?
Yeah, it's up. I don't know if Rob is lagging.
Okay, so I can't see it.
Oh, weird. Okay, so we have Ian McGregor, Hayden Christensen. Oh, there's a whole list. So you can see this on I don't want to butcher everybody, but this Kamel Nanjiani, I think, is from Eternals. And I don't know if O'Shea Jackson Jr., he was in Den of Thieves and a bunch of other stuff. He is Ice Cube's son. And Sung Kang, we all know him from Fast and the Furious. These other guys I'm not super familiar with. I'm sure I've seen them around. I don't know when we're going to get Rob back. So if anyone in the chat wants to help me out here. But Hayden Christensen getting cast in this, a lot of the internet got excited for that. So I don't know if everybody else had the same feeling. When he was coming back, he was such a hated character at the time of episode 1, 2, and 3. He was embraced with open arms to come back. So I think that is pretty cool. That I don't know how many years he had to endure the pain of playing Anakin Skywalker. That maybe he's going to see a nice resurgence and be kind of like happy that he did create that character in the legacy. Rob dipped out, so I guess it's the me show. I feel like I should bring some other people because Rob had a bunch of other news, but I don't know what it was. So y'all in the comments, how you doing? Everyone's noticed that Rob is gone. Yes, Rob has dipped out. I don't know if on purpose or not. But yeah, what do you guys think of this Obi-Wan cast? Let me put it back up so you can see it in full screen. Do you think this is going to be able to top the Mandalorian? All right, let me get this off. I'm normally screaming. So yeah, so Andrew in the chat is saying, let's see what Andrew says. I saw the cast listing. He doesn't really care. Fair enough. They announced so many Star Wars projects like, how are we going to keep up with all these? Like, there's like Mandalorian is supposedly going to get another season. I don't know if they've announced that. And then we've got all those other shows. The Boba Fett show. I think I'm most excited for the Boba Fett show. And let me see. Sorry, I'm checking my messages to see if Rob is having issues with coming back, but I don't know. So let's skip from the news. And let me put the bracket on here since we're all just kind of sitting around, or I'm sitting around. What the hell? Look at this. Rob's in the. I'm going to see if I can get Rob back up. Let me put the bracket up. So if you guys remember this 80s bracket that we started before everything went down. Sorry, my daughter's crying in the background. Let me try and figure out what's up with that. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know what happened to Rob. I think he's probably rebooting his ancient ass iPad. So let's talk. Let's jump to our bracket, and hopefully Rob can come back and continue the news. So I don't know if you guys have seen all these, but you guys saw what happened in round one. We had Aliens versus Highlander. Aliens sailed through. Highlander just didn't stand the test of time. And then we had Predator versus Running Man, which we had guest stars Sarah and Gordon on deck. And Running Man managed to win this match, much to a shocking turn of events, but I think it was actually fantastic fun. So it ended up with Aliens versus Running Man. And we actually had sent this on because Aliens is going to kind of auto win that. I don't think anyone's going to lose to Aliens. So let's talk a little bit about these other two films here. So the Terminator from 1984 and Blade Runner: The Final Cut. And then we had Robocop 1987 versus John Carpenter's They Live. So I just finished rewatching John Carpenter's They Live. So I don't know if anyone else watched that movie and has got thoughts on it. So let's see here. Running Man. All right. So Gordon says Running Man won't beat Aliens. We all agree. Yeah. So I've already said that through. So I don't think we have to deal with that one anymore. Let me see if I can get my notes here. Let's see. So Terminator, we got shoutouts to Terminator, Blade Runner over Terminator. Yeah. So let me talk a little bit about They Live versus what did we have before? They Live versus Robocop. So Robocop, 1987, budget of 13.7 million. It made 53.4 million. They Live, 1988, budget of 3 million. And you can certainly see on the screen that this movie doesn't quite have the budget of a lot of the other contenders that we had in this bracket, and made 13 million. So there's kind of like a common thread that a lot of these 80s movies that we love were lower budget movies that somehow surprised or defeated all odds and was able to come back. So let me see here. Let me get this bracket. Sorry, I can't hear anything, and it's basically complete silence now that Rob's gone. So it's a little unnerving. So let's see. Lewis says they never saw They Live. If anyone remembers They Live, I know Scott had a great quote from the beginning of the podcast about the I'm here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, but I'm all out of bubble gum. That was one of the early scenes in They Live. Let me see here. Fraser says Terminator has down. I don't know what that means. Rowdy Piper. I don't know quite what happened to his action star career because I don't remember him anywhere after this other than wrestling matches. Terminator hands down is what Fraser meant. Rowdy Piper. Yeah, any movie with sunglasses. Yeah, I was supposed to bring in my sunglasses in for the day. Yeah, so the idea behind They Live is it's kind of like an alien invasion. And they've assimilated or taken place in the human race, and it's some type of business deal. It gets revealed at the end that they're trying to take over the Earth, and Rowdy Piper's character finds these glasses or some type of resistance movement and is able to see who's aliens and who's not. So it's pretty crazy. It's got one of probably the greatest action. Where's Rob? What's going on? Are you coming back or are you not coming back? What's going on? All right, so let me see. if I can see. The problem is I have the StreamYard credentials here, so I'm gonna have to try and get Rob back in here at the same time. I feel like I should have invited one of you guys in here. Let me try and send Rob an invite and see. All right, Rob, I've sent you an invite to your Facebook, so hopefully you get that. But yeah, so basically in the midway point of the movie, about 1 hour in, not even the midway, more than the midway point, Rowdy Piper, I forgot his real name, and Keith David have like this epic fight, the most epic of all fights. So I don't know if anyone's got any comments on this fight. I don't know what's going on, why I can't get Rob in here. This guy's like, I'll be back in a minute. He's gonna go like walk the dog or something like that. But let's try and decide this then. This Robocop versus John Carpenter's They Live. I feel like John Carpenter's They Live actually snuck into this bracket. It's more of a horror action, so not really as much sci-fi. Like if you're if you want to watch like kind of like some suspenseful crazy shit going on type stuff, then John Carpenter's They Live is the movie to watch. But it doesn't quite fit in, especially when we put it head to head with Robocop 1987. So I don't know if, what people's thoughts on that. Yeah, sorry, here. Yeah, Scott's got it perfectly. Cult classic, horror genre kind of. So Robocop. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if I need to re-invite something here. All right, so I don't know what to do, folks. I can't get Rob here. I should send an invite to somebody who's free, who's got a camera set up right now. So Robocop. I don't know. Did you guys rewatch Robocop? If anyone else rewatched Robocop, let me know if you watched Murphy's death scene in its entirety, because I skipped over that 100%. It's probably one of the most gruesome, horrific things kind of ever put on screen. So let me. I'm gonna jump in the comments because I don't kind of know what to do here. Let's see. Robocop, classic sci-fi from Scott. Let's see. Jonathan Yo says Robocop did spawn a franchise of toys that has to count for something. Yeah, they used to have these old toys that you would put caps, like basically like mini explosives in the back, and you slap it and have a metal striker, and that was their gimmick. I had a couple of them. Let's see. Everyone agrees that scene was pretty gruesome. Like I remember originally when I saw Robocop, I watched it on City TV. So everything was censored. So I didn't know the movie was so gruesome. So that Murphy's death scene was cut out, a lot of the blood and violence. And I think when the guy is holding the woman hostage, he doesn't get shot in the nuts. He gets shot somewhere else. And then there's the end point where he's driving around. Look at this dork. Just dips out for like a good freaking 15 minutes.
What happened? No. Hey.
What's up? This is Rob Guy's back. You know how it's very unnerving to like. I 100% did not sign up for a solo show, so sorry, folks, if that was kind of rough to get through. It's like complete silence in my headphones. It was very unnerving.
You did a great job. I was watching.
No, I didn't. I was crashing and burning here.
No, dude, you were great. You were great, everybody. Welcome to the Heroes World Sidekick Show.
Yeah, I was talking about this scene where the man goes in that one guy goes in the acid bath and he's kind of like the car hits him and he explodes into a pile of blood. in the City TV version, he swerves the car and misses him, and the guy just walks off screen.
Oh yes, this is Robocop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is that was the guy. He actually ended up playing a doctor in ER, I believe, and he also had his hand chopped off in ER. And I'm fairly certain he had it removed in the movie as well. I remember he's like, oh, he had no hand and stuff like that. So he doesn't do well with his hands in television properties.
Yeah. So Rob, I don't know if you wanted to wrap up the news or you want to just continue into the 80s stuff.
Oh, there's nothing much. We can talk about the stuff at the end. It doesn't make a difference. Let's just keep the 80s stuff going. I appreciate everybody who was obviously concerned. I'm fine. It was just some weird internet shit happening. I have no idea. I was actually playing Fortnite at the same time, and I think I might have crashed.
he crashed this shit. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So we talked a little bit about RoboCop. We talked a little bit about They Live. I don't know if you have any words for They Live.
Well,
I'm pretty sure RoboCop is taking this. I was saying They Live kind of sneaks in because it's a it's not really a sci-fi action. It's almost like an action horror or something like that.
Well, no, it's sci-fi. I mean, it's John Carpenter, which, I mean, yes, he was known for his horror movies. I mean, the whole idea of the aliens integrating themselves into society and using those special black sunglasses, predating Men in Black. But I agree. Listen, at the end of the day, RoboCop is a much better action movie, but I think They Live is probably one of those movies where I think it got a lot of attention at the beginning and then it kind of fizzled out. I think it's almost at that cult classic status. I love watching They Live.
Yeah, that's what Scott said. And it only had a budget of $3 million, which does show on the screen. But they were really smart about how they used it, like the special effects, like the aliens with their skull faces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, sorry, now things are coming back to me now that I'm not under the pressure of trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I was gonna say I don't watch much things in black and white, and then I started watching this They Live, and every time they put on the shades, everything goes in black and white. So I'm like, man, now I'm gonna watch like I don't know how many black. I watched freaking WandaVision, this movie, and then now Snyder Cut's gonna be
just
white.
Gray.
Like, I don't think,
and then you're gonna watch Pleasantville in black and white as well.
I don't think I've ever watched this many things in black and white.
Now, did you? I might have missed the part. Were you confessing to the fact that when they were the aliens and they had in the black and white, where there was almost like the love-making scene between the two on the couch? Did you talk about how you were kind of really wanted to see what they look like without the clothes on, or no?
Does that happen towards the end? Is that one of the scenes at the end? I think when they start when the power starts wearing off, right? And there's that guy at the bar, and he's just standing there. And he's got the skeleton face.
Yeah.
God, I'm good.
Okay.
I was saying that fight scene, which is basically a wrestling match.
When he suplexes him off in the back alley, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They just have a slugfest and keep getting knocked down, and the guy's like, put on the glasses. I'm like, I don't get why a lot of the people in the show were so resistant to just putting on this pair of glasses. I'm like, what kind of trick did you think was going to happen?
Well, yeah, it wasn't like we were saying, take this pill, put it in your mouth and take it. It wasn't, it was just put these stupid glasses on. Why are you, no, I don't want to, stop it. You can't make me. Like, I didn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I laughed at the scene where they transitioned the glasses into contact lenses, and then they hand it to him. And then Keith David does the funniest thing. He goes like this, and then pretends to put the contact, and he kind of goes like, and I'm like, as a corrective lens wearer, I just thought it was like a funny scene. So let's send this through and keep things rolling since we lost the time.
Sorry about that.
Sweating it out, trying to figure out.
Oh, buddy, I had you on the iPad. You were doing great. I could have jumped in on the iPad, but I was like, I'm just going to watch. You were doing great. You're awesome. And you had the support of everybody in the chat. So thanks to all of them.
If you didn't watch the two podcasts this week, I ended up doing both summaries. And Winter Soldier I was ready for, and then Stu threw the Invincible summary at me. And luckily, I kind of did okay because I was familiar with the comic book. But I literally was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it so easily off the top of your head. Shout out to Scott, who is also a corrective lens wearer. I saw him pull some contact lenses. I switched to daily, so if anyone wears corrective lenses and uses contact lenses that you put in and out of your eye for like a month or so straight, switching to the daily disposables is like a game changer. It's ridiculous. Anyways,
Oh no.
Enough nerd talk.
Yeah, that's
now back to geek
that's
talk.
Yeah, or is it the other way around?
Terminator and Blade Runner. So
okay, so have you didn't discuss this yet, correct?
No, I kind of touched on it a teeny tiny bit, and some people mentioned in the comments that Terminator is probably the clear winner.
Yes, I completely agree.
I don't know if we want to talk about Blade Runner a little bit.
Can I? Sure. I'm just going to say this. Did you end up rewatching it?
I did.
Okay, it's pretty boring.
Yeah. So in Blade Runner 1982. So this is actually pretty funny. So Terminator 1984, budget of 6.4 million, makes 78.3 million. So I said that the reoccurring theme in a lot of our 80s movies was that they were like the budgets were smaller. And the ratio of how much they made, so they were kind of like surprise hits or just blockbusters, seems to be a common thread. However, Blade Runner cost them 30 million and only made 41.5 million. So it kind of just squeaked by. And by today's standards, I believe that's considered a flop because you wanted to make, I don't know if you wanted to double up or triple up or something along those lines. But the fact that happened is almost telling, because I think almost the same thing happened to the 2049 remake. It didn't quite deliver what it was supposed to.
I think that Blade Runner is one of those movies, much like the original Tron. It didn't make a lot in theaters. It was more word of mouth, and it gained a popularity on the home video circuit. Right back in the mid '80s, that's when people were starting to. They moved away from renting VCRs and were starting to purchase them for like $500-$600, and then you would be able to start renting movies, right? And so people started renting, and that's why you started getting all of these multiple versions of Blade Runner, the different director's cut, the extended edition, the ultimate director, the final cut, because there is a huge contingency of individuals that really love this movie. I am just not one of them. I found it to be a lot more boring than I remembered it being. And I enjoyed 2049. I went to the theater to see it, but I think I did it more because I'm a big fan of that director. I haven't seen it since. So I think for me, that's just telling us of the Blade Runner mythos for me. I think it's just not, and I like sci-fi, but those movies just aren't for me.
Yeah, I think it more of blazed a path, and I still haven't seen 2049 because I was putting it off till I rewatched this original Blade Runner, and I kind of regret that now. I think I should have just watched it closer to the time when it came out instead of trying to rewatch. But I think it's just the setup, the scenes, the buildings, even the music. I had seen Blade Runner way after the fact. I watched a lot of Japanese anime beforehand. And one of my all-time favorites is one called Bubblegum Crisis. Which is a cyberpunk kind of girls in Iron Man suits running around, and a lot of their opening sequences are these pans of the futuristic buildings, and they're playing that cyberpunky music. So it's ripped straight from Blade Runner, and the idea of the replicants, that's very similar to like Terminator and pretty much everything that's like really hot, using that type of human cyborg in a human skin type idea.
I think
Gordon says Blade Runner made me want to run into a blade.
Right. Being wielded by Sarah. I think that Blade Runner, I'm not taking away from its artistry. I think it's a gorgeous looking movie. I think it's very smart. I think it's much like how do you know people who have read Lord of the Rings and they love the books? Like they are like, I read them once every 2 years. No. I found the books to be extremely drab and boring, and were, if you were suffering from a sleep ailment, reading the Lord of the Rings books would fix you. But there are a lot of people that love reading those books and do it on a fairly regular basis. Those are the same type of people who I think can understand and are tuned into the Blade Runner movie franchise, and that's just not me.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you, and I think it deserves credit for what it created and what has come after it. But yeah, I think for sure. Like I don't know if maybe the original theatrical cut is more watchable because that has the Harrison Ford narration, but I heard he wasn't really into it, so it doesn't it's not all that great either. So maybe there is I don't know how many cuts of this movie you could make. If you could make another cut that where they redo the narration for it, maybe it becomes better and more entertaining. But let's talk a little bit about Terminator then. So let's switch gears.
Okay.
Terminator 1984. This was this movie or was it too? It was this movie that James Cameron created from a dream that he had. Like I don't know if anyone's heard that story. A dream of this unkillable machine, and then made a movie out of it. Like that's crazy. And then he decided to sketch it out. And I've told Rob about this dream I had. So when I had my first child, I was a little sleep deprived, and I would have these whack ass dreams. So one of my whack ass dreams was chasing around this squirrel on the loose. So it's a squirrel, you know, I'm like, all right, whatever, the squirrel. And the squirrel falls into a vat of peanut butter and then jumps out and takes off. And my concern was that if this squirrel gets a hold of someone who is allergic to nuts, it is a killing machine. So why
have you not made a movie?
My movie, yeah. And I had a whole bunch of dreams like this, and I wish I wrote them all down, but this is the one that I remember the most. So I don't know if this would make a brilliant movie or another disaster.
No, I don't think brilliant is the word. I think your movie would be along the lines of Gnaw, Food of the Gods, like the rat movie, like those, you know, Piranha 3D. Like I think that's what your movie would be, like just called, but just be like
Sharknado.
Squirrel, right? he's on the hunt for nuts. So I think that's what you, yeah.
All right. So let's send Terminator through, and we'll save, I guess, talking more. Unless you want to, do you want to mention anything, Rob? Did you see Terminator in theaters?
The first, I'm not that old, piece of shit. What are you talking about? It came out in 1984.
So when you were like 6 or 7, you didn't go see Terminator?
I didn't see Terminator 1 in theaters. No. I saw that later on. I probably would have been in my you know, I don't think I would have even seen that when it came on home video. I think I would have been in my early teens when I saw it. I think I saw it as it led up to 1991, which was T2. So I think that's what would have provoked me to have seen the first Terminator. So I would have saw it around 1990 or so. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the movie. I mean, it is what it is. It's 1984, as you said. It's the special effects are very decent for what it was. It's stuck in its own time, right? I mean, everything's very 80s. The hairstyles, the music,
hairstyles,
the clothes, the pastel colors. But yeah, man, it's great. Listen. Look what it built, right? And you have to give it to James Cameron, a Canadian fella, who was doing a lot of more B movies, mentioning Food of the Gods. I mean, he was doing stuff with Roger Corman before Terminator. So, give it up to him. So Terminator goes all the way. Not all the way. Sorry, it beats Blade Runner for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we've advanced Terminator. So I don't know do we want to do Machine versus Machine? Do we want to decide Terminator versus RoboCop? Now and then just take care of the final next week. If anyone's got some thoughts, so let me pop this back up again. So we would have Aliens versus Running Man. We've advanced Aliens, almost an auto win, unfortunately. Sorry, Running Man. Game over.
Oh, yeah, I'm so glad it went. Let's face it, Running Man was an anomaly that I got through the first time.
No, I think there is argument that, and I think you originally sparked the argument. And Sarah just finished it.
Yeah,
the Running Man actually is a more fun, is a much funner movie. And almost Predator. I almost feel like Predator is on the level with the John Carpenter's. They live in this kind of horror thriller aspect instead of being an all-out action. So I don't know if we can decide RoboCop versus Terminator right now. Does anyone have some thoughts? Do you guys want to decide now, and then we'll just deal with Aliens versus whoever wins this round now? So we could
do it. I mean, what are you thinking? What's your gut tell you?
I think RoboCop is a more fun film, and Terminator actually kind of falls in line, which would be a super shame because Arnold Schwarzenegger is not going to be in the final if this happens. But Terminator is along the lines of a horror thriller as well. because if you're stacking up over the top action scenes, definitely RoboCop wins. I think if you do that.
So it's an interesting argument. I think you're right. I think that I think RoboCop has a lot more going for it. I felt like it's weird to say it's paradoxical in that it's original idea, but it's not original. It's man turned into a machine, right? As a cyborg. I mean, there's countless movies beforehand about cyborgs, and yet this one, he was a cop. He was a killing machine. It was kind of against his will. His human side was fighting with the machine side, and then you have the flips of the Terminator's machine come from the future to come in and kill all of mankind, and so you have these two machines, and what was the better machine? Well, Terminator, one could say, was probably the better killing machine, but it didn't kill as much as RoboCop did. So RoboCop just obliterated people, right? I mean, listen, as much as I love Terminator, he had a gun that came out from his thigh.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, that was cool. And he did the spin thing. That was from like J Hooker or something like that, or some old TV show that Alex Murphy used to watch.
Let me ask you, if you had these two movies, you have 2 hours, your wife takes the girls out. We know what you're doing for the first 3 minutes. You now have 1 minute and 57 seconds.
We've transitioned into after hours, folks. So we can unleash the Sarah.
You have 1 hour and 57 minutes. Are you choosing RoboCop to watch, or are you choosing Terminator?
I think me personally, I'm actually gonna choose Terminator because of the Arnold factor.
Okay.
And Michael Biehn, like Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn.
Bane?
No, Bane. Like Bane. Like, oh, Batman, I'm coming for you.
Bane.
Bane. Yes.
Yeah. He gives like a really like good performance. Like there's a scene where he's being interrogated by the cops. And at first he's like, yeah, this thing doesn't come. This thing's not going to stop. It's going to come. It's going to kill you. There's like this whole speech. And I think at one point earlier in the speech, they're like, how does this time machine work? Why not send a blah, blah, blah? And he's like, I don't fucking know. I didn't invent the thing or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
and that just stops all conversation of time travel. Dead stop. It's like, yeah, he didn't make the goddamn thing. Move
on. But here's where I want the counterpoint, and it's not fair to Terminator 1. It's that there's a much better Terminator movie, and that's Terminator 2. And it's really hard to then be watching, for me, it's hard for me to watch Terminator 1 when I know that I would prefer to be watching T2. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, for me, I mean, I'm still going to enjoy watching Terminator. But if I have to choose between those two movies, my brain is going to be thinking, I would have preferred to have T2 over RoboCop. So, and that's not fair to Terminator 1, but it just happens to be. Like I know everybody loves Empire over New Hope, but I can watch the first Star Wars movie and be just really happy watching it. But with Terminator, I'm always like, oh, I'm going to need to see the next one because I feel like it's just I am having hors d'oeuvres. I want the full meal of T2. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think I totally agree with what you're saying. And I used to, when I was younger, I used to try and be cool and say I like Terminator 1 better than Terminator 2. But
you were trying to be cool because that's not the argument you want.
No, I'd be like, I'm kind of like different. I like Terminator 1 because it's more horror. There's more suspense. Arnold is the bad guy, that type of thing. But man, yeah, you're right. T2 is a force to be reckoned with. Like just all the things that happened in that movie and the performances. I don't know, like Arnold's, maybe he doesn't deserve an Oscar for it, but his ability to play this cold, unfeeling killing machine. I don't think anyone else has ever really been able to pull it off quite as well as he did.
No, I agree with you
for that time.
Well, listen, James Cameron has gone on record and he has said, if it wasn't for Arnold, there would not have been a T2 because he was as crazy as it sounds, he was the attraction. He was the charisma. People were drawn and attracted to him in his portrayal of this really unstoppable killing machine. He played Michael Myers. He played Jason Voorhees. He was the machine he was the villain that was coming after you in the slow walk. He was menacing. It was terrifying, right? But he looked like a human. He was, so knowing that he wasn't. And so without Arnold's portrayal in T1, you would not have had a T2. If it was if it was somebody else, if it was Dolph Lundgren, you probably wouldn't have had a T2. That's just the reality. Yeah. Now, does it make it a better movie than Robocop? That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, definitely people get at us in the chat. We would like to, if we can decide this tonight, that'd be great. Then we have lighter work for next week, and we only have 2 movies to deal with. So Andrew mentions that great opening to Terminator where he's like, "Nice night for a walk," and I feel like that gang of punks and thugs is one of those guys, Bill Paxton or something like that, or he's someone famous.
Yes, he is. It is Bill Paxton at the beginning. He's got the mohawk. He's got the mohawk. He's one of the punk guys when the sphere comes out. Yeah.
So like don't get us wrong. There's a lot of great things that happened in Terminator 1. Arnold's delivery of just saying Sarah Connor. Every time he's like Sarah Connor. So, it was just really funny. And when he goes to that gun shop and he's like, I'll take the 9mm. I'll take the this, and then I'll take the plasma cannon with the blah 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 blah. And the guy's like, okay, just what you see, buddy. So like, there's so much going for Terminator, especially that there's Bill Paxton is in Aliens and Terminators, and I think
so is Michael Biehn.
Yeah, and doesn't Aliens only happen because there was a gap in filming the Terminator, one of the movies. I don't remember what that factoid was.
No, I don't know.
But I think between some movies, Terminator couldn't get rolling, so he did Aliens, or something.
Okay,
yeah,
interesting. So it comes down to RoboCop versus Terminator again. Which is the better movie? They're both really good movies, for what they deliver. I would not be disappointed either way. I'm seeing a fair amount of RoboCop in the chats. Lewis is saying Robo is better than Terminator 1. Scott says RoboCop. I feel like Gordon is saying Terminator. Jonathan says Terminator is a more watchable movie. Fraser is saying Robo. Lewis is saying Terminator, I think. I don't know. It's hard. Yeah.
I think on the fact that RoboCop, this is the best representation of the RoboCop in all the reiterations of it. The remake movie didn't do so well. RoboCop 2.
RoboCop 2 was atrocious.
RoboCop
3 was really bad. It was PG-13 and he had wings.
Yeah, I remember they had the Samurai Ninja robot too.
Yeah.
I think it had multiple TV shows. I actually remember the first TV show I actually kind of liked, but I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. It was just, there's a RoboCop TV show. I love this.
And it had a cartoon as well. I'm fair.
Yeah, he had a cartoon. He had a comic book, and then he had a bunch of other like newer movies called, I think, like Prime Directives or something like that.
Yeah.
Some other a next RoboCop who wore like kind of like black armor and stuff like that. So there's like some funny stuff that happened, but definitely the original, they've never managed to recapture that. And supposedly the new remake is kind of going, or the new launch or whatever they're doing is going along those lines. But since Terminator 2 is going to win whatever bracket we put it in, I feel like we can safely send RoboCop through for this one.
I was going to say, let's not forget, John, that the city of Detroit, they had a contest to create a statue, and people wrote in, and they wrote in that RoboCop was and apparently it's being unveiled sometime this year. I think it's almost finished. Like the bronzing is complete. So like city council did not want it to be RoboCop, but I think that's what it's going to be. So I say RoboCop, John. I think a lot of people are saying RoboCop.
Yeah, Sarah said RoboCop. I think we just missed because we were busy reading the last part of your comment, which says Running Man gets third.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah. So unfortunately, let's
Oh, you're stuck. You don't know what to do you?
Because I have such love for RoboCop. I mean, not RoboCop. Terminator is definitely my one of my all-time favorites. I don't have it here. It's in my other office. The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger endoskeleton head.
Yep.
And I had a bunch of other ones. I had the Terminator Salvation one too, and I had to sell it. I really regret that.
You have the arm? Don't you have the arm?
No, I never got the arm. No.
Okay.
They released the arm. They released the chip in his head. They even released those explosive thingies that they used in Terminator Salvation. So I've had a bunch of funny Terminator related stuff, and if I go back and dig into my collection, I definitely have that VHS that came with 2 cassettes that had the special edition with the alternate ending for Terminator 2 and stuff like that. So I think we had to go with RoboCop just because when RoboCop 2, I mean not RoboCop 2 definitely is not going to win anything. When Terminator 2 comes up, it's going to demolish everything in its category. Yeah, so let's put RoboCop through just so we can get this moving on, and we want to cover a lot of other stuff coming up. So I hope.
Okay, cool. That. So next week it's Aliens versus RoboCop. I mean, I think we know what's going to happen, but it'll be a fun debate.
Yeah, so we'll see. We can. I don't know if we want to decide. I think Terminator. Sorry, Sarah. I think Terminator is probably going to take the bronze, though.
Yeah, I would agree. Terminator over Running Man.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
although it would be fun to have a Running Man, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, Terminator will take Running Man. I'll call that now.
Yeah. We're just lucky we didn't. I didn't sub Sarah in while you were gone, and she would take the whole thing over, and Running Man would have won.
The whole thing. Cool. So that's you're verifying the winner for the bronze match, so we'll do the gold match.
We'll leave it. So we'll do this final, and then we'll do this. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Terminator.
Okay. Awesome. I just have a couple other things, John. Tying up what we were the news, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that you were talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi casting, so I'm just gonna. I don't know I couldn't hear anything. I'm just gonna say is that it's a massive cast. That's a huge, really impressive cast. I'm quite impressed with that. So. That was pretty cool. Announced this afternoon, John, did you talk about Russell Crowe? Russell Crowe is signed on for Thor, Love and Thunder, which I think is really interesting. Now, it might just be like a fun little cameo, but apparently he's been cast in a mystery role in Love and Thunder. And speaking about Thor, in an informal Twitter poll, Marvel fans, holy crap! And I'm talking like John.
Our mojo got all messed up because of Rob and his
Marvel fans had voted Thor Ragnarok as the most rewatchable MCU movie. How do you feel about that, John? Do you feel that Ragnarok is the most rewatchable MCU movie? Not your favorite, but the most rewatchable.
Yeah, no. Okay, so when I saw it in the theater. And it was going full blast. The music, the sound, it had like a Flash Gordon vibe. It had all this comedy going on. And I thought it was going to become my new favorite, but I haven't actually rewatched it in its entirety since. I've kind of fired it up a couple times. And the intro scene, I think, is when Thor's in the chains and he has the axe and he's like spinning around and stuff like that. I don't know if that intro scene is just too slow for me to get rolling, but I have definitely watched Winter Soldier in the double digits on rewatch. Every time I've kind of turned it on, I'm like, let me watch one scene. I end up watching the whole damn movie. So I'm surprised that like did they show any of the other contenders, or they just went with the.
I think it was just like a poll that people were just saying what was the most, and I think that people just started saying Ragnarok, and it just happened to get the most votes. I
think in tonality, like it's basically fun, action, humor. I don't believe anything too serious happens in it. Like if you watch Infinity War and Endgame, like characters die and sacrifice and disappear and stuff like that. But I feel like Ragnarok is a good like kind of standalone. Just man, Rob, you ruined everything. I normally talk like this though. So look, I thought he was frozen for a second too. So now I'm all paranoid, and I'm going to be like stuck in my own. And I almost feel like his screen should have been all like green and stuff like that. Now he should have just been like talking to a green screen, and Let's see how long he can hold this ridiculous pose. I already see your face twitching. So
you know what?
Did you agree? Is Ragnarok like your all-time favorite?
No, it's not my all-time favorite movie. However, when it comes to rewatchability, that's a whole different matter than your favorite, because I always look at it this way. Your favorite movie, you can you put it on because you want to sit, you want to watch it, you want to just enjoy every aspect, you want to look at every scene, you want to listen to every piece of dialogue. But rewatchability for me means something I can throw it on in the TV in my office here and have it playing. And while I'm typing away, typing and looking at stuff and reading reports, I can look and be like, oh, look at that. And I can stop for a second and eat a Twizzler and watch the movie and then go back to work. Or I can, while I'm folding the kids' laundry, I can pause downstairs and resume upstairs as I'm folding and putting laundry away. So I think that I understand the aspect of Ragnarok being rewatchable because it's very easy to consume. No matter what you're doing.
Hulk. It's like it becomes a buddy comedy once Hulk gets introduced. Sarah says she can rewatch
We
Thor.
know why.
Is that solely based on Chris Hemsworth?
I would think it would. No, it's because she's got a thing for Jeff Goldblum. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Lewis mentions Iron Man 1. I think Iron Man 1 would be the only one that kind of I would consider on that rewatchable list, just because at the time it came out, I don't know how many times I rewatched it back in the day. I don't think I got to double digits, but the humor, the action, everything kind of combined, definitely did set it off, and it set off this whole Marvel chain of events. So
yes, but again, but here's the thing. Like, I think of Winter Soldier, I think of Iron Man 1, and I'm not trying to compare them to The Dark Knight, but those are movies where I on a Friday night, I would just throw that on, or a Saturday afternoon if it's pissy outside, rain, it's crappy, I can throw that on because I don't want to stop. I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to stop that movie halfway through to go do something. I want to sit and I want to watch it, enjoy it. And I love those movies. And I really enjoy Ragnarok, but that's why I feel like it's a lot more flexible in my ability to be able to watch it wherever I want, whenever I want, right? So as for me, I'd say overall, for me, it's probably the most rewatchable movie because I can put it on if I need a good distraction. I need some good music. I need some action. I need some comedy. I can throw that on there. I mean, listen, we've done these action movies. There's a lot of these movies that you could do the same thing. You could do Beverly Hills Cop with that as well, right?
Beverly Hills Cop 1, I can resume watching from any point in that movie. A lot of people mentioned Dark World as one of the worst movies. Like, do you have in your head what is considered the worst movie of the Marvel? Do you want to consider it Iron Man going forward, the MCU? I have heard some people mention the Ed Norton Hulk, which I actually liked.
I really like that one as well.
Some people actually really dislike that. But Dark World, I definitely would say is in the running because I still haven't even seen Dark World. I pretty much gave up on it. I would fire it up and I would be like, what are these blue elves and all this stuff going on? And then I'd be like, no, I think I'll try and watch this later.
So I'm going to make a point or a comment here that's not going to be very popular, but I have a really tough time watching Ant-Man. Like,
really?
Yeah, as much as Thor 2 has, like, I'm like, oh my god, it's got some problems. I find it easier to consume than Ant-Man. For whatever reason, and even Ant-Man 2, I have it, John. I haven't rewatched it in like super long. I think I've only seen it twice. Like, I don't know what it is. I like Paul Rudd. I like his Ant-Man in the Avengers movies, but in their own singular movies, I have a really tough time watching these movies. I don't know why. I feel like it zaps me of all energy when I'm watching it. So
yeah. I find Ant-Man 1 works really well as it feels like a TV movie. So if you just turn it on,
that's true.
To watch a double-sized episode. Ant-Man 2 definitely was not as strong. Scott mentions Iron Man 2 or Dark World is his bottom. I feel like Iron Man 2 is at least somewhat watchable. It does have ScarJo's first appearance, and they have him and War Machine kind of going back and forth at the end, which I did kind of like. So let's see if anyone does anyone else have a? Andrew mentions Thor 1, which I actually do agree with him that was actually boring to my standards. So I don't know if anyone else.
Yeah. Well, people are just quickly before I forget, John, we talked about Godzilla versus Kong.
Mm-hmm.
This was huge news right before we actually went online tonight. The director of Godzilla versus King Kong, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Andrew
Adam Wingard.
Wingard. Yes, Adam Wingard. Yes. Big news. He is going to be directing Thundercats movie for Warner Brothers, as you can see on the screen there from Deadline. So that was huge news. I was very surprised. I mean, I was a huge fan of the Thundercats cartoon in the 80s. You showed us a number of weeks ago the Battle Cat tank. And I was like so on board for that until the price was like Canadian value. I think it was like $650 Canadian. I was like, I'm out.
It's expensive for a toy. If it was some type of movie replica, like a tumbler from the Batman series, okay, yeah, sure, like $500-$600. But for an action figure, like a plastic action figure accessory,
right,
for that eclipses the entire set, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about this. I'm excited to see what he brings. But first of all, I'm excited to see. Oh, snarf. But first of all, I'm excited to see what happens on Wednesday with Godzilla versus Kong. So will you be renting it this weekend?
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely. I'm in for some Kong on Godzilla action.
Now, well, what about our friends in the chat? So you guys gonna be watching Godzilla versus Kong? Don't forget, Friday is a holiday, so you actually have no excuse, unless you're really religious, to be able to watch Godzilla versus Kong this weekend. So I'm down for it. I'm quite excited to see it. I'm not sure if what everybody else is doing, but maybe if we have enough people, we can do John, maybe you and I can do something next week and do a review or a reaction vid. Okay, not for Lewis. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. And that's really all the news that I originally had, John.
1 hour later.
Yeah, no kidding. Yes, it is the 31st. Same here, Scott. But I just said Friday because everybody's off Friday. Like my kids are off from school, so I'm not watching it Wednesday. I'll have to wait till Friday.
Yeah. Apparently it's out overseas already, and it's
made mad money, eh?
Yeah, it made like really good money, and I think critically it's actually doing very well.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely up for it. Definitely, you guys hit us up in the chat. And wherever else you contact us. Yeah, we got the Discord going on. So if you want to get in on the Discord, send me or Rob a message, because we don't want to post it publicly because we might have some craziness going on. So definitely hit us up on the social media, and I will send you the invite for that Discord. Anyone in the chat, you're 100% welcome to join it. It's actually a lot of fun. We just started getting into it. So just so you know, Lewis, I am going to join it. However, I am going to be in the next week or so changing a lot of my social media to a new handle because I've had some interesting private messages sent to me. So I will be locking off my social media pretty soon and then doing having a whole new handle start up. So I'm just going to wait within the next week or two. That should be up and running. Michelle, hit up me or Rob or one of the others on our social media. So we can get you an invite because everyone was asking where Michelle is at. So we definitely want you in on there if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
and everyone else. Yeah. Gordon, keep messaging him.
Yeah. Oh, damn, we keep hitting the same button at the same time.
Yeah, we both have access to hitting these comments. So every once in a while, you just jump around.
Yeah. Too late, man. The restraining order has already been filed.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so I think I don't know. Do we have anything else to cover? Anyone else in the comments wanted to mention anything else?
Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in again today. It's been a lot of fun. I think John and I were a little trepidatious about whether or not we could actually circle back on this 80s sci-fi thing because we've been gone for doing that topic for the last 4 weeks. Right? Man of Steel, 4 weeks. So we were just like, oh no, but it looks like everybody was still kind of enjoying it. So that's good. We're going to wrap it up. And then I think, John, we're going to take a pause on brackets for a little while after next week, but we have some other I guess watch-alongs really is what we might, kind of refer to it maybe. So we'll maybe try to do some other things and go from there.
Yeah, Michelle, we didn't wrap up the bracket. We're actually down to the final, so it is now going to be Aliens versus Robocop. So next week we'll decide that, and we'll wrap all this up. But like Rob said, I think we target a couple of specific movies and then turn those into the bracket later on.
Yeah,
it will be fun.
Because I know that John's itching for a '90s action bracket, and maybe we'll have to. Maybe after the summer, we'll go in '90s action for him, because
there's a lot of things we can cover. '90s action, we can cover. I don't know what you would call it. The teen comedies. Like if you want to dive into stuff like Clueless and Easy A and
no,
She's the Man.
No, she's
10 things I hate about you.
No,
there's like I was listening to this other podcast and they had a showdown between like Anna Kendrick and Alicia Silverstone versus like all those I think Rob might have to sub out and I might have to get Pat or some of the others in with me. But I think that's sorry. Scott
right.
really is down with. Have you rewatched it yet, Scott? Have you done the recon for us?
You know what? I'm down for it. I'll tell you what I just did. I just purchased The Last Starfighter on iTunes, so I will purchase Remo Williams, and we can watch Remo Williams together.
Yes.
All right, John. Well, listen, man, it's been a lot of fun. Sorry that I glitched out at the beginning, but you did a great job.
Yes. Sorry, folks. You had to put up with me stumbling around trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I think it's hard when I'm also in charge of the tech stuff, so I wasn't sure if Rob was actually locked out or just having computer issues. So yeah, shout outs to Fetch. Scott went out to the Fetch Con 2021.
He went out to the Fetch convention, and we'll leave it to your imaginations of what
I feel like Last Action Hero is definitely on the table.
Yes,
and I'll bring in my Laserdisc for next week's show if we can wrap up the Sci-Fi. And Last Action Hero is in that collection, so maybe we can have some fun with that. But yeah, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in, watching us every week in our shenanigans, and following all the stuff that we drop. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much
for you guys. I know our mojo was a little off today, but we'll be back next week, and I hope you all join us. And definitely hit us up. I'll send the invites to the Discord for anyone that is a human being. I don't want any robots getting a hold of it just yet.
Terminator.
But now, now we're gonna log off and we're gonna dive into the Sidekicks After Dark show. So that one you're gonna need I don't know what program we would run that off of.
I don't know. I'm not gonna be there.
Damn it, Rob.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, folks.